right, Nick, the Green Bay Packers, a team that in the past we've looked over them and they have an excellent defense, a lot of pieces on offense, but they still have a little bit of cap space left, enough to make a little bit of a splash in the free agents that are left. And we thought to ourselves, what are the best options for Green Bay to round out this roster? Before we start giving our selections, I want to ask the fans, Green Bay fans, let us know in the comments below, who do you think is a great free agent addition for Green Bay to add to this roster? Comment below. Let us know what you're thinking. But Nick, why don't you let us know who you think?
Yeah, so you and I came up with three guys who fit a certain criteria. We're looking for veterans who are chasing rings, chasing wins, who are interested in short-term deals and could make an immediate impact without having to play necessarily a whole lot. Because, like you said, the Packers have a pretty good roster. But anyway, let's move on to the first option. This is Ryan Kerrigan, formerly of Washington and Philadelphia, edge defender. This guy is, quietly the most decorated defensive player, I think, still on the market. He's a former multiple-time All-Pro. Guy was a strong locker room presence, was a team captain for a number of years in Washington. I like him coming to the Green Bay Packers and having an Eric Weddle of the Rams kind of impact, kind of step it in where needed, playing a few extra reps if injuries occur, because I think he has that clutch factor and that leadership characteristics that could make a big difference as the Packers try and make a playoff push.
Yeah, Nick, obviously, if you've watched our show at all, you know I'm a Ravens fan. But what you might not know is the rest of my family are all Commanders, Redskins fans. So I've seen a lot of Redskins games in the past, Commanders games, sorry. But I remember the days of old, Ryan Kerrigan, Brian Arakpo. That was like an edge rushing phenomenon in Washington. They were so good, so talented together. Kerrigan obviously has lasted out a little bit longer, so I think he's just a really solid player that you can use, like you said, as a spell piece to get some pass rushing reps in for the team. But I went a little bit different route here, Nick. I went something a little bit crazy, I guess, and I thought offensively, Green Bay seems to be good with their receiver room. They want to see what they have. There's no need to make a splash there. But I think that personally, they could use another tight end option. And another one I thought would be good, especially for Rodgers and his red zone prowess, would be Levine Toilolo, formerly of the Falcons. I believe he's on the Giants last year. But most notably, I remember him on the Falcons with Matt Ryan. This dude is 6'8", a big red zone threat. I think if you mix him in with the options that they have, and Tunyon coming off injury, this might be a good option to throw in there. But just a target that is easy for Rodgers to hit and just give him a little bit of comfort in the passing game.
Yeah, especially I like the fact that of his size and the threat he could be in the red zone, because I think the Green Bay Packers in some ways are going to have to manufacture some touchdowns, throwing the football in the red zone. Obviously with that, the flux in the receiving core and the injuries to Robert Tunyon, like you mentioned, Mercedes Lewis somehow continues to play, even though he's extremely old at this point in his NFL career. Eventually the wheels will kind of fall off there, you think. So getting a veteran tight end to kind of just give you, maybe a couple key red zone touchdowns, maybe some, couple key third downs here in certain situations could be a really impactful move for the Green Bay Packers. But let's move on to the third option we have here. And this is another edge defender here. This is Trey Flowers, currently the Detroit Lions, and before that in the New England Patriots. I kind of like Flowers here because he's still relatively young. He's only 28 years old, which means if the free agent's still available, he's got, a little bit more tread on the tires, so to speak. I love his championship experience. I mentioned the fact that he played with the Patriots. I love guys that have actually made deep playoff runs and been to Super Bowls and won Super Bowls, especially when you're trying to make a Super Bowl run yourself. Look at what Von Miller did for the Rams. I didn't expect Von Miller to have as big of an impact with the Rams when he came over last season. He kind of added a little bit more experience and culture to that Rams team as they pushed to the Super Bowl. A guy like Trey Flowers could have a similar, albeit lesser than Von Miller, obviously, kind of impact on that defense that I think could be really valuable for the Packers.
Yeah, Nick, when you talk about championships with teams a lot, things that you hear people say is like, do they have the championship pedigree? Yeah. Do they have X, Y? Can they act like you've been there before? Well, when you have been there before and you have had a championship pedigree, when you bring a guy like Flowers in, You don't have to worry about that anymore. When you get into the playoffs, a young rookie or a guy who hasn't made it there before, it can be almost a little bit of intimidation factor. Ooh, we're in the playoffs now. It's one and done. Am I going to make the push? I don't want to mess up. There's a lot of pressure built. But when you have a guy like Flowers who's done a lot of playoff runs and you said had been on championship pedigree teams, you don't have to worry about that. So I do like that this signing in that aspect. But I think these are three pretty good options. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Packers, they have the cap to move to make these moves. I think they should, right? They're definitely in a win now mode. Definitely this year, the priority, if not this year, certainly next year. So they've got the money. You might as well spend it.
All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.